home for live streaming local sports. Your 24/7 local news leader, salinapost.com.
Eagle Radio Salina is more than just your favorite radio stations. We are your creative partner for the web. We can craft digital marketing plans unique to your needs. Our creative team creates amazing digital ads for the web. We also offer outstanding video production for your website, YouTube, Facebook, Hulu, and more. Let our Eagle team help you soar. Discover the power of today's radio and digital platforms.
Think about the word precision. Precision is being exact and accurate. Isn't that what you want when it comes to electrical? Precision Electric in Salina brings exact and accurate quality to electrical jobs in central Kansas since 2003. Precision Electric's focus on quality and performance, combined with their experience and dedication, creates a winning set of finished products which saves their customers money. Precision Electrical Contractors is looking for licensed journeyman electricians as well as apprentice electricians. Apply online at pecsalina.com.
Hello and welcome into another Tuesday edition of the Coach Ron O'Neill Show. It's the Coach O Show, as we affectionately call it here at AJ's in the Alley, downtown Salina. We do it every Tuesday, and most of the times we call them Victory Tuesdays, right? Another win for you in the books. Congratulations, yes. First ballot Hall of Famer Ron O'Neill. And boy, we'll dig into this game. There is a lot to talk about in this game. I didn't really know that we would have that much to talk about. It was kind of one of those last minute filling opponents with the River Kings. They came in. Man, there are some things to talk about in this game, mainly personnel stuff that you were having. Maybe like your fantasy football roster was getting jumbled up and you were just kind of moving guys around to see what they would do on both sides of the ball, which was fascinating to watch. It was an entertaining game for me just from that standpoint. We'll talk about that, but, man, just more than anything, just your weekend, how things going. I mean, it's for people that tell you it doesn't get hot in Kansas. It's here, right?
Yeah, 106, 107 with the humidity through the roof. So very, very hot, trying to spend a lot of time indoors. But with my wife and daughter coming up this weekend, I know they're going to want to be outside because they're outside people. I'm kind of dreading that. I'm hoping that the temperatures drop down. They're saying potentially it'll get underneath 100, so hopefully we'll be able to breathe and survive up here.
Well, the forecast today was a chance of showers all day and not quite as hot, and here we are. So it is still 105 plus 106 right now in downtown Salina. So, of course, Coach Martinez loves it. So he's over here just loving life right now. But, man, just a good weekend for you. You were able to get a game in and just really get into the depth chart. We saw some guys like Eric McIntosh, Tracy Brooks. Man, I just going through a lot of guys here, and some guys that had an opportunity to sit down and rest a little bit, but also some guys like Charles McCollum that only played a half, gave way to Andrew Jackson in the second half. You were able to move some guys around. We saw Tappa play offense and defense once again. We saw guys like Ed Smith play defense. I don't ever remember seeing that before. Jamario Benson, you played him at both defensive back and linebacker. I saw on defense. How'd all that go through? And was it just kind of you had a plan going in, but as the game went along, that plan was flexible, or how did you work that?
It was mostly planned. We had to make a roster move, moving on from D-Tray. Just a decision we had to make that's best for our organization. And, I wish him well and everything. So bringing in Chandler, he had a good game. He had 2 picks actually in the game. One was called back. So very excited about his future, what he brings to the table. Loving, what Ed Smith showed. He always said that he can play defensive back, but to have the opportunity to play defensive back and actually see him in action, and he played very well at that spot, just added even more value to what he already brought to the table. Like you said, Rio is a guy that we brought in very early on, knowing that he can play pretty much every skill position out there on the field. And he has the thing that I love about he's becoming one of my favorites as well is, understanding wherever it helps the team win, he plays. I mean, he's played pretty much every position except for receiver in the game, but he's played it in practice and things of that nature. So seeing his depth and versatility, loving, what Tappa could bring to the table, playing both sides of the football, seeing all of the guys basically just understand what we're trying to get done and not make any excuses of why I got to do this. And it was more of a evaluation to see who can do what. And I think we came out of that and found out, some of these guys really can play on both sides of the ball. And it helps when it doesn't really matter in a game of that magnitude, but once we move on and you kind of have these different scenarios of who's the 21, that's when it becomes very, very instead of hypothetically thinking this guy can do this or think he can do that, to know that this guy can play O-line and D-line or this guy can play receiver DB. Those things become very valuable when it comes to those moments.
We're flying by the seat of our pants here. I'll just go ahead and admit that. One thing we do know is Aiden Johnson's going to join us here on the show, and we kind of chatted about that this morning and went through a couple different guys' names, but I don't know that there is anybody right now on your roster, especially somebody that just got done playing their first home game, that got as much of a excitement level, much of an interaction out of the crowd as what Aiden Johnson did. I mean, it seemed like the fans were living for every single kickoff that Aiden Johnson had in this game because, I sat there and I said during the broadcast, during the video stream, it's almost like you don't know that you need something in your life until you've had it. Once you see a deuce, then you're like, that needs to happen every single time. And that's kind of how the crowd got onto that. I mean, we heard big pops out of the crowd for Aiden Johnson and his kicking ability.
And he had the biggest applause of everyone, just going out Sunday just to get some food and Monday just to get food, and today just going around the town. The town is abuzz about him. I think it has a lot to do, with his stature. He's a shorter guy, can relate to, some of these guys here in town and stuff. But he's a very personable person as well. He plays to the crowd. It's not a hot dog or anything like that, but he definitely know how to play to the crowd. And it was at a position that we have been focusing on. This is our fourth kicker. Yeah. So to finally have one that can do everything well and does it every single time he's been out there and every single kick, it is a big thing. Is it going to be a deuce? Is it going to hit the net? Now the whole hitting the net thing we don't worry about as much, but the deuce piece of it, anytime you can score points by kicking the ball off, that is a weapon. And if you look at the game that just was played and won by Billings, which was a great game, Billings versus Albany, they're down 11. They score, hit the 4-point, and then he kicks a deuce to win the game. So anytime you can do things of that nature and have that as an option, that's more weaponry that we have as a coaching staff, and just very, very excited about his future. But I'm very excited that we finally got one that can actually do exactly what I need him to do. Yeah. No offense to the other ones or anything like that, but Aiden has done exactly what we needed him to do when we needed him to do it. And it's just the tip of the iceberg. He can do a lot more. I'm not going to tease it. I'm pretty sure you'll talk to him about all the different abilities that he has with that football. So I'm very excited about his future. And, his future potentially of moving up as well, because, I know Billings kicker has been doing it pretty much the whole year, and Aiden just got here, but I like to see any two kickers that's better than them two in all of indoor football. So very excited with his future, and I think the sky's the limit for Aiden.
You look at the kicker, and I'm just talking about general statement here. I'm not singling anybody out, but you just kind of look at kickers sometimes, and if you're a casual fan, you just think, okay, well, they kick the ball off, they go for field goals and extra points. But just the talks that we've had, there's so much more than that, and your expectations of them are maybe the highest of anybody on the team other than a quarterback or your signal caller on defense, because you expect placement because of field position. Mm-hmm. You expect chaos sometimes off the net. You expect the extra points after touchdowns to be automatic pretty much. It's tough to walk away with 6 when you could have had 7 every time, right? It's one of those things. From a coach that traditionally over the last few years has not gone for field goals, you've been kind of a fourth and go for it type of guy in this game, no matter where you're at on the field. Now do you find yourself mentally just kind of leaning the other way, knowing, okay, he's capable of this. We've seen him do these things. Does that change your thought process and your approach at all?
Slightly, not much. I'm just a very aggressive person, period, when it comes to that. But the thing that was very enlightening to me is Thursday practice. We usually just, once we do our special teams, we kind of just probably about a 30-yarder is probably as far as we usually go back. Mm-hmm. The thing that I liked about it is Aiden just said, keep going back. And so I told Coach Martinez, our special teams coach, let's just keep going back to see how far. Once he misses it, then we'll stop. And it was all the way at 50 yards. So, and it's not like a 50-yarder in the NFL with them big wide goalposts or anything. This is a goalpost like this. And for him to be able to kick a 50-yarder, definitely, that's why I say slightly changes my mind, because I've never really had anything like that has a leg that, and I guarantee you, if the ceiling was higher, he would be able to kick it from even further. So he's one of those type guys that has a howitzer for a leg. Yeah. And very, very happy to have him on our team. And over the 2 weeks, I think he's been the biggest joy that I've had of just being able to say that we finally figured that piece out. We can move on now and start focusing in on different positions like we've been doing, like I talked kind of off air with the different people we're talking about. Very excited. Just seeing his range and the different things that he can do. I'm loving what he brings to the table.
So think, as you're saying that, about the uprights and being compressed down, just go with me on this. In the CIF, the uprights were 10 feet apart. Now they're 9, right? Not only that, the crossbar was 10 feet high. Now it's elevated up. What is it, 15 now, 16, something like that? So you're taking that gap that you have to kick and you're shrinking it down. He has hit the upright at least 4 times in the last 2 games. Give him an extra foot. Those are probably counting for 2 points as well. Exactly. When you're saying that, I'm going through my mind going, holy cow, on a 10-foot, he would be automatic almost.
And that's why in my opinion, if it was left up to me, he should get his opportunity after our season to be able to kick for, the UFL, the CFL, as well as the NFL. He has that type of leg. And he's not only just had the leg, because there's plenty of people that have legs, but he has the accuracy as well. And like I said, I'm not going to let the cat out the bag, but he can do a lot of different things with that football. So it's a pleasure that, Coach King found him. He was his kicker up there, so I can't take any credit for it. He told me, the first day that he had one, and me, I got this guy. I'm going with this. I got to give all credit to Coach King for finding him and basically not giving up on me of keep hammering it home for his guys that, hey, I know this guy can get it done. I know it. I've seen it. And that's a testament to him as a coach. And I'm just, again, that's another person I'm thankful for as well, is bringing Coach King on. He's helped out in so many different atmospheres, so to say, not just with the offense, personnel, just – we were friends before, but I think our friendship's gotten even deeper with hanging out with him, not just, like I said, on the field or at the office, off the field. And he's a funny guy. And when you got Coach Martinez, you got Coach King. I mean, it's a comedy hour. So I think all of those things coming together. Aiden is the prize under the tree, yes. But if we didn't bring in Coach King, and our ownership didn't step up and say, hey, yep, we got to fork out some more money, even though all the different things that's happened this year, they gave me what I asked for, and Coach King has come through with flying colors.
So what do you like better? Do you like the 2 points? Do you like not having to cover a kick? Or do you like the field position of putting your defense out there at the 5-yard line?
I like them 2 points. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. I mean, if you can hit that all the time, I'm more than happy to take that, and I don't care where they would put the ball. I'll take those 2 points.
He had as many points as the other team on Saturday.
I told him that in the meeting. We had our team meeting, was it Monday?
Yeah.
So Monday we had the team meeting, and I told him, and this is my 19th year doing it, I've never had a kicker pretty much outscore the whole team by himself. In any game that I've ever coached, I've never seen anything quite like that in my life. And like I said, he's a pleasure to coach. He don't give you any problems. You don't have to tell him, hey, it's time to warm up. Hey, this is what we're doing, because he's there early. He's already warm. He's ready for whatever you want. He's even willing to play DB for us and receiver. The difference with him and most kickers, he's a football player. He's not just a kicker, and that's the thing that I like. And it's only been a few times in my life where the kicker was actually a football player and not just a kicker. So to have that, it's been a pleasant surprise. I mean, Coach King, that was kind of when you work with somebody, I call it building cred, and his credibility just rode exponentially with the people that he said, hey, let's give him a chance, let's give him a chance, let's give him a chance. Basically, all of them have stuck. So definitely happy with what he brought to the table. And I'm just glad that we have him, Aiden, and he is a true football player.
We're going to talk about some more newcomers on this team that I've been watching and then got to see also for the first time on Saturday after the break. But before the break, I just want to go through and just lightning bolt. Just because we're talking about new guys doesn't mean we ignore the old guys, right? I mean, you still got your vets on this team. As we said, Tracy Brooks set out. He's a big Liberty veteran, also setting out this game. Charles McCollum got to play a couple quarters. Andrew Jackson.
RJ set out.
Yeah, you can't get Travis Taylor off the field, so he played the whole time.
Yeah.
Got some running back, some D-line, some linebacker.
That's part of his contract there, that a couple years, it's been 2 years, out of all the years he played, the only thing he ever said, I just need one carry. So what I gave him, I think it was 2 to 3 carries, so I made up for those years I didn't give him a carry. And he almost got in there. He got to pick his leg up on that last one, but it was good to see him out there, and it's good to just have Travis with a smile on his face and happy with life and things of that nature. And he's just one of those type guys. He's a character now. He's definitely a character, and he marches to his own drum, which I'm a player's coach. I get it, and I allow what he does and how he brings it to the table. He's one of the few players that don't even come to practice. He just shows up to the game. But when you play the way he's played over his career with me, I would challenge anybody to want to come to me and say, well, why he get the just look at the film.
Is he having his best year?
Last year was pretty good.
It was.
I mean, he led the league in sacks last year, but I think all around with what he's doing and playing the different positions and flipping back and forth and all of these different things, yes, the numbers may not say it because it's a different game, but his effectiveness and his fingerprint on the game is more this year than it's ever have been.
Yeah.
So arguably, yes, his best year. And it started off a little slow, and then he did get hurt. There in the Billings game, he got hurt the first play of the game, so he wasn't himself in that game. So definitely happy that just for him each year, that's one guy that I don't have to worry about. Low maintenance. Coach, what time we playing, where we playing. That's all he really ever asks. He's always watching his film. He already studied his opponent. And then the thing I like about it, he's a leader. So, yes, he's not at practice, but he still has that effect. That's why he's still a captain. And when he speaks, everybody listen, because he doesn't speak very often. He speaks when he needs to speak. He doesn't speak just to be speaking. And we've had people here that just like to talk, just to hear themselves talk. This guy walks the walk as he talks the talk. So very happy to have Travis Taylor back again, and we're lucky to have him. Again, that's another NFL ball player that I got down to Dodge, and he's been with us ever since, and he's ingratiated himself into this community. I forget who he works for now, but he's been working here for the past 4 to 5 years, and he's committed to being here and just made a very good citizen of himself of the city of Salina.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll dig a little bit further into this game and just kind of go over a few different plays. As I said, there were some guys that haven't been here a whole lot of time other than Aiden Johnson that we'll talk about, and I want to get your thoughts on those guys. We'll also get to Aiden Johnson coming up later in the show as well. It's the Coach O Show. We're at AJ's in the Alley, downtown Salina. It's buy one, get one free pizza night, anywhere from a little 6-inch pizza all the way up to a 29-inch pizza. Buy one, you get one free. Also, great drinks and $2 Tuesdays over on the Family Fun Center side. The Coach O Show will be back right after this, and it's brought to you by Salina Medical Aesthetics.
When pests have become too much, it's time to call Hassman Termite and Pest Control. With staff having over 150 years of combined experience, we offer all services for structural pests: termites, ants, roaches, spiders, crickets, mice, and bed bugs. In our 60th year of our family serving yours, give us a call or visit us on the web at hassmantermite.com or see us on Facebook.
For over 30 years, Ryan Roofing has been the area's leader in commercial roofing installation. Over 10 million square feet of Durolast roofing. Now, Ryan Roofing is expanding their expertise to the residential properties to better serve you and your home. Shingles, windows, siding, and gutters. Call Ryan Roofing in Salina today for a free roof assessment and get the expert advice you need. Ryan Roofing, serving commercial businesses in the area for over 30 years and now working for you on your residential property.
Spring cleaning time! A wonderful time of the year. Winter is over and hope springs eternal. You have the windows open. The birds are singing and you can't help but notice that smell. That awful smell. What is that? That is your septic system backing up into your home, making spring flowers smell, well, like a friendly reminder from Salina Septic Service. If you haven't had your septic system pumped out and cleaned in the last 3 years, you are asking for trouble. Salina Septic Service. You better call today.
Salina Medical Aesthetics wants to help you look and feel your best. Whether it's a simple aesthetic procedure like a hydrofacial, peel, injectable, filler, or a new skincare line, our professional team will customize a personalized plan just for you. Salina Medical Aesthetics is proud to feature Beautifil, a body sculpting procedure that will transform your body with gentle liposuction to slim one area while adding volume to another. Visit us online or call Salina Medical Aesthetics today to set up your free consultation.
Welcome back in on the Coach O Show. It is at AJ's in the Alley, downtown Salina. The Alley is the big facility that has bowling, laser tag, video games, all kinds of things that you can even imagine. $2 Tuesdays going on over there. Of course, we're in our favorite sports bar. It's AJ's here inside the Alley, where we do the Coach O Show every Tuesday. This comes after an 85-18 victory over the River Kings this past Saturday at Tony's Pizza Event Center. Coach Ron O'Neill. And, boy, this game, like I said, it was fun to watch because there were some guys kind of moving around. But immediately, a guy that Coach Martinez told me a little bit. He doesn't always tell me the whole story.
That's Martinez for you.
He did tell me. He said this running back that we brought in to help out in the running game, did one of those. Otis Weha, his first carry for a touchdown of his professional career. He just got out of college, right? He ends up 5 carries, 3 touchdowns. Obviously, a lot of credit goes to the guys blocking for him, but he runs hard. He has a low pad level. He kind of gets after it a little bit, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's nasty, and the name that, I'm starting to learn Coach King has a nickname for everyone. I hate to hear what my nickname is, but he called him Baby Earl Campbell.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Baby Earl. So, if you look at how he runs, that's what he runs like. He's very violent with collision. Arm tackle's not bringing him down. He has great, like you said, pad level. He has great balance and contact when he's hit. He has the shakeability. The sky's the limit for him as well. First game in, had a pretty good practice today as well. I'm very excited, where I got him from, Buddy, is a agent that I got him from, and, his clientele of what he's given us and the players he's given us, I just want to thank him first for letting us have him. True, he is a 2024 draft class guy, so he's fresh out of college, so he's probably the youngest guy on the team, and sometimes it shows that he's the youngest guy and haven't done professional football, which we understand. We're patient with him and making him understand what it takes to be a good pro, but what best example to live behind is Tracy Brooks. Just talking with Otis, at practice, and what Tracy has done for him, how he's helped him, that learning curve from outdoor to indoor is not easy to just – but if it wasn't for Tracy, he wouldn't have done that well. He probably would have continued to run like he ran outdoors, which is way different indoors. Your reads are different. Your angles are different. And I give Tracy all the credit for schooling him up, how to watch the film, what to look for, aiming points, his steps, what to expect, helping him on the sideline, helping him when he's in it. All of those things right there, I won't take any credit for. No coach can. The only one that can take credit for it is Otis for actually going out there and doing what he needed to do. But Tracy Brooks, and being that, like I said, he's the most unselfish superstar that I've ever coached in my 19 years. He works his butt off. He could have played if we wanted him to play.
Sure.
But just saving him for, the games to come. And it's just how unselfish he is to help better the team. Salina is very lucky to have him. He works here in the community as well. That's a guy that like I said this, I always say this, if I had 24 Tracy Brooks, I probably would never lose a game and never probably had a gray hair. I wouldn't have to worry about all the off the field or nothing like that. Tracy is a calming agent for me. He's very intelligent, not just off the field, on the field. The different analytical things that he sees that I can't see in real time because I'm not actually playing the game, he sees and he has suggestions. His communication skills, because he's not a yeller, screamer, cusser. He's a very soft-spoken person.
Absolutely.
But when he speaks, it's like, E.F. Hutton, you listen. He's one of those type guys. I know I'm telling my age with that commercial,
awesome.
But I'm very, very happy that, again, Tracy came back. He can go anywhere. Each year, I'm pretty sure every team in the league recruits him. His loyalty to Liberty Nation. He is Mr. Liberty. He's the longest tenured player that's here. The fan favorite. The deuce is loose. Just love everything about what Tracy do. And I know this is about Otis, but Tracy is a big reason why Otis played well. But Otis is a baller, and he got some things to learn and things to go with, but it was a great starting point for him.
Yeah, when I said Tracy took Saturday off, he didn't have pads on. He was still working very hard on the sideline, helping out Otis. As we were watching that game, again, 5 carries, 3 touchdowns for Otis in his first game. Have you ever had an offense with 2 guys named Otis?
No, never had that at all. So that's different. And the thing about it is Otis Way is like 215.
Yeah.
And 007 is like 160. But they call 007 Big O, and they call the other one Little. So I'm just like, help me make sense of this. But that's that's our team. That's the character of our team. We got a bunch of characters, and it makes it fun to come to practice. Yeah. I love coming to practice anyway. I love coming into the office. I love the work period with football because I don't consider it work. I consider it's a dream answered by God that this is what I wanted to do. I just didn't know it. But when you have players, like Rio and D-Wash and, Tracy and McCoy and Tappa and all these different guys and these different characters that mesh together for one common goal, it makes it fun to come to work every day.
Another guy I want to ask you about, I brought him up last week. Here I am again, bringing him up again. And that after his third game with the Liberty is Ja'Cory. This kid, you put him in there on defense. He ends up leading the league in tackles after the team in tackles after just 2 quarters. Then you flip him over to offense and he catches 2 touchdowns. Again, I told you last week I loved watching him play against Wichita. The more I see him play, the more I'm a fan. He had another outstanding game.
Yeah, and basically I'm one that you got to come in and earn it. I don't give you anything because nobody ever gave me anything. I earned everything that I've gotten. Mm-hmm. And every rep he's gotten, he's made the most of it. Otis is another one. He did that as well, 007. Mm-hmm. He started off very small, and then his role grew. And you can see the same thing with Ja'Cory is most receivers, number one, can't even play defense. So let's get that out the way. We told him he was going to play defense. We didn't tell him he was going to play any offense. Coach King talked to him. He didn't cry. He didn't whine. I just want to play football. Went out there, and Coach King said, hey, what do you think about putting him on offense? Coach Martinez sounds good to me. Let's flip this over. That's when we flipped Ed to defense and put him on offense, and then put Rio, so that's when we made our move. But I can't take any credit for that. That was Coach Martinez and Coach King that made that decision. Coach Martinez is my assistant head coach, that I don't have to be previewed to every single decision when I'm not there. He knows what I like, and he has his own mind and his own sense that he's been coaching over 20 years and levels higher than I've ever can dream of. So that was their decision that they made, and Coach Martinez said, yes, let's do it. So we did it.
What I love about the evolution of him, though, now we see him on defense after he had a really good game on offense with Wichita. He does both here. The consistent thing that we really fell in love with him for was being one of the first guys down on special teams. Doesn't stop. He's still getting tackles on special teams all the time.
Yeah, he's not a typical receiver. Most of them are prima donnas. They don't want to do that dirty work. This guy is like a throwback. To me, it was a receiver that played. There's 2 that come to mind when I see him. Not to say that their game are similar, but just the mentality of that defensive mentality. Mm-hmm. Sterling Sharp. Physical, very just want to put the mitts on you, and Ed McCafferty. When he played with the Broncos, him and Rod Smith, McCafferty was probably about 6'4" or something, but he played very physical. He played very angry, and you're not stopping him one-on-one. That's the type mentality he has. He feels that no one man can stop him. Even a double team can only hope to contain him. He still says he's got to make that play. And if you see him on special teams, they try to double him. He don't care. Get off of me. And he doesn't take plays off in the run game. I remember one play, and he does this on every pretty much run play, but I remember one play in that Wichita game where he basically blocked this guy, dumped him to the ground. His helmet came off, and he still was blocking him while he was on the ground. So
and Otis scored behind him.
Yeah, so
I know exactly what you're talking about.
That is something that you can't teach. Like I say, that's that dog mentality, and he has that dog. And I wish I would have had him at the beginning of the season so he can have some stats to really go with the type player he really is and have more highlight film. I mean, He's had 2 games with us, and that's really all he's played this whole year. Probably a guy that has to come back again and show what he could do for a full season. I would love to have him back, though. He's a team player. You can see he's family-orientated. His mom came down last game, supported him. I thought it was his girlfriend's mom looked so young, so it was pretty cool just to see the relationship they have. It was more like brother-sister than anything, and you can see – the home training is good. He's well-mannered. He's not a guy that's going to get in trouble off the field. And when he's on that field, he takes it very, very serious. And I knew he was going to be something. I think Coach Martinez pointed out his second practice in. And we're the second best defense in the league. Him barking at some of those vets over there on the DBs and say, give us a look because y'all ain't. That took some cojones to do. So I'm definitely happy, he with us. But he's very supremely confident in what he do, and his actions speak louder than words.
Who am I missing here? Who really stood out in this game, and maybe a new spot or something that somebody did? Who am I missing here that you really thought did well?
Like I said, Chandler was a guy that, for having no practice.
Yeah.
We got him from West Texas. He basically showed up, I think the day of the game, and we kind of went through some things with them. Coach Martinez, I think, spent a couple hours with them and got him a physical, and because he never really practiced, and threw him in the game, and he played the whole game, had 2 picks, filling in for the D-Tray spot that we had to move on from. But I was very, very excited at what he brought to the table. A different type defensive back, his cover skills, really good, physical, but very smart too, and played the play within the play. It was good film, breaking it down and watching it with them on Monday to kind of just let them know how we do it here, because he didn't have any practice. For him to not have not one coverage bust, not one missed assignment, he did exactly what the plays say do. He used the technique in which he couldn't say taught him because he wasn't even here, but for him to see the plays and do what the plays say do and not do the other, it was very, very big, and it's something that we've been missing. So to have him, I think that was huge. That was new and exciting. Like you already mentioned, Otis as well. And we got a couple others that are coming as well that you'll see with some of the additions that we did today, and we'll probably do a couple more tomorrow. So very much excited with what we're doing moving forward to these playoffs.
6-2 now, 85-18, the final score there. How do you feel about your team right now? I mean, we're in the home stretch right now, and you look at this team and took a couple of losses there. I know you kind of look at the Southwest Kansas loss, and that one you would love to have back. You'd love to have all the losses back, frankly, but you're sitting at 6-2, and I know the biggest thing with you coming into this game, the people pleaser in you and the let's pack the arena full of fans and let's have a game was over here, but then the coach in you and the well-being of your players was over here. I know last week you were, should we make a game happen? Should we go find an opponent? The guys could use some rest. I know you were kind of caught there, ended up having the game. How did everybody come out of this health-wise?
Everybody came out good. That's the good thing. And then the people that we actually had sit are better.
Yeah.
So not to say that they were majorly hurt. They really wasn't.
Yeah.
So just to have that extra rest, it was just a great job by our coaching staff sitting down, and that's many hours. I mean, on Sunday, their day off, we're sitting there, and I think the meeting was 2.5 hours this Sunday, and I think it was 1 hour and 45 minutes last Sunday to put the plan in place for what we're doing and how we're moving. And as you know, different roster spots become available as the week go on, and how we were able to fill the roster spots with the help of my coaching staff, I think has been very, very good, especially these last 4 weeks. And I know that had a lot to do coinciding with bringing Coach King in. He's been influential in that. But also players that we had brought in previously that played with other teams had helped us this year bring in players that's replaced guys that's been starters here, and it's seamless. So very excited with that. Loving that the togetherness of this football team, trying to get rid of all of the other negative energy from the outside and sometimes inside, and just, cutting all that type stuff out, having positive people that want to be here, that want to work, that want to get better, because everybody say they want to win, but are you willing to do what it takes to win, are two entirely different things. And I think that's what we found out mostly this year, and the people that we have now that's on this football team are bought in. There is no alternative motives or anything, and they, not to say that it was before, but it's just we bought in to what we're trying to do. We're understanding of what the task is at hand. what we've done this year, you are what your records say you are. So whatever it is, and we do playoffs and all this stuff, like I always say, you can't be voted prom king if you don't get invited to prom. We've been invited to prom now, which is getting invited to the playoffs. So once we see what we do and who we play, when we play, on what date, we'll start, getting ready for that type stuff. But very excited that, again, going around town these past 2-3 days, and it's been mixed reviews from some of the fans it kind of surprised me, but I had a couple fans come up to me and was like, I'm surprised you guys doing this well in a league that's this high. And sometimes you got to educate them of, I've been in leagues higher than this and done this. So
when you show them the ring.
Yeah, well, you say that, and then you say I'm a first ballot Hall of Fame coach that have done this many, many times. This is not my first rodeo. But what I think the fans are the most amazed about is Little Salina, one of the top teams in a league that has an Orlando, Albany, all these Nashville big cities that everybody know in the United States. It's not too many people know about little old Salina Liberty. So I think the fans spoke volumes with what they did this game that we just played. I'm waiting to get the numbers, but I thought we had at least 4,000 people there. The stands were as loud as I've ever seen it, and we had more kids down there. And that's the thing that once you get a kid to come see this, it's a product that they love. And that's the thing that we've always been saying is, bring your kid that's never seen this game, and I guarantee you he'll fall in love with it if he loves football, because it is real football. And yeah, we did move up, and the caliber of athlete that we're bringing in is top notch. So you're getting a treat here in Salina, 45,000, 40,000 people to see, guys that go on and play at the next level. I mean, Tyree was the last one we did. 64 players that's played in my program in my 19 years has moved up to the NFL, CFL, XFL, and other leagues. Tyree was the last one 2 years ago. You may see some of these guys right here. That's the type of talent we have coming in. So I'm very excited that Salina is starting to catch on. The attendance is still growing, and I just hope we can build on that in our next games.
If we stop the season right now, or let's just go this, sitting here on the last Tuesday of June, let's play that game. What do you think about the league right now? Because it's tight. Things have tightened up. And amongst all the scheduling and all the kind of stuff that's gone on, you're sitting here, and it is between top to bottom. It's this.
Yes.
I mean, we saw Washington beat Southwest Kansas last week. We saw a heck of a game between Orlando and Albany the week before. Fast forward to this past weekend, we saw Albany and Billings go. I mean, right now, it's razor thin to me. What do you think?
I love the parity of this league. I love how the thing, I'm going to be honest, the thing I love the most about it is, you mentioned it, Southwest Kansas, Billings, and us. We were a CIF team, but we didn't have a CIF mentality. And it shows with us being, those three teams being part of the 6 best teams in this league that's going to be making the playoffs. So that just goes to show you that, when we were recruiting you earlier on, October, November, December, when people chose the bigger market teams just because of the name, but didn't do their research of the coaching, the organization, the ownership group, the fans, the people in these cities, I think they sitting back now wondering like, man, I made a mistake. Absolutely, you made a mistake. And I think this was a coming out party nationally, more so than what we did in the CIF, because this is a way bigger stage. Good, bad, or indifferent, Salina is on the map officially. No matter what happens with the rest of the season, Salina has been in more households this year than any other because of the league and how it's branded. So very excited about that. And it was something that not to sound cocky, conceited, or anything, I've only had like 1 or 2 losing seasons out of my 19 years, so I didn't expect to lose this. I didn't expect to not be in the playoffs. I don't expect to not be a contender. That's just what I do. I put so much in this. I'm away from my family. My coaches are away from their families. Not to say the other coaches aren't, but I'm here for a reason. I'm here to win football games. I'm not here about all that BS. I'm here to do things the right way, and we have an ownership group that understands what I'm trying to do here, and they back me and give me the aid in which I need to be successful, because none of this would be possible, first, without God, and 2, without a great ownership group, and 3, without the fan support that actually pays our checks. So we're not stupid and not understanding what's going on, but it's a trickle-down effect what Katie Young has done and our social media, getting us out there into the schools. That's why these kids are coming. It's a trickle-down effect everybody's done their thing. Sam with the idea of that the sunflower thing, the app to do all this and to talk to the state. That's everybody working and pulling in one direction, and that's the thing that we had to do with this football team. We had players that were pulling in different directions that we had to tame and make them understand that we have to be one unit pulling as one. It's kind of like that Planet of the Apes or whatever, when it's like us together strong. I'm a big sci-fi, I like that movie, but you can't be pulling in different directions and expect everything to come out right. You have to get everybody on the same page, and I think we've done that over this long season. Even though it's only been 8 games or so, it feels like it's been
3
20
years.
Yeah, so it's been a very, very long season. But the pleasure I do get out of this, that we are a playoff team. We're one of the top teams in this league. We are a contender, and that's all I can ask for each year.
You know you're running a strong campaign and you're getting good results if people are saying Salina instead of Salina, too. So that is the number one. If you can pronounce Salina right, that is, you're converting people over and you're educating. So
and that's part of the job, is educating and making people better.
That's right. Thank you for your time. We have Aiden Johnson coming up. You already gave me your thoughts on him as we started out, but just from what you know about him, I know he's only been here not even really 2 weeks yet. Man, it just, so far things are fun to watch, aren't they?
Absolutely, and it looks like he's hitting his stride. He's understanding, where to kick the ball, as far as on the football to get the results. And the thing I love about him, like today, I'm not going to tell you exactly what he was practicing on, but he was hitting the ball a little different, trying to see the different things, and that shows you that he's not satisfied. Yes. And those are the type of people I like being around. I don't like being around people that think they know it all. They got all the answers, and they're not trying to get better, but they can do all of this. He doesn't say anything. He just goes out there and puts that work in before and after practice. So those are the type players we looking forward to coaching, and there's no surprise that he's done as well as he's done so far.
Well, we can safely say as I let you go that we know a lot less now than what we did when we walked in the doors today. So, I mean, that's one thing we have going for us. 85-18, the victory over the River Kings. And we will talk to Aiden Johnson. It's coming up next. My friend, thank you for your time. We'll see you next Tuesday. Aiden Johnson right around the corner after the break. We're at AJ's in the Alley, downtown Salina. It's brought to you by Salina Medical Aesthetics.
It takes hard work, passion, and drive. It takes retraining your mind and your body. Once you do, you can't be stopped. Salina Regional Sports Medicine, here to get you back in the game.
Kansas Wesleyan is proud to be Salina's hometown university. KWU has become the place to be, with enrollment up more than 30% over the past 5 years. Salina supports KWU in many ways, including countless work experience and internship opportunities. We're proud to give back by supporting more than 40 great organizations throughout the region. We can't wait to see what's next for KWU and Salina as we work together to better our community.
Salina Medical Aesthetics wants to help you look and feel your best. Whether it's a simple aesthetic procedure like a hydrofacial, peel, injectable, filler, or a new skincare line, our professional team will customize a personalized plan just for you. Salina Medical Aesthetics is proud to feature Beautifil, a body sculpting procedure that will transform your body with gentle liposuction to slim one area while adding volume to another. Visit us online or call Salina Medical Aesthetics today to set up your free consultation.
When pests have become too much, it's time to call Hassman Termite and Pest Control. With staff having over 150 years of combined experience, we offer all services for structural pests: termites, ants, roaches, spiders, crickets, mice, and bed bugs. In our 60th year of our family serving yours, give us a call or visit us on the web at hassmantermite.com or see us on Facebook.
Back here on the Coach Ron O'Neill Show, as we talk Salina Liberty football here at AJ's in the Alley. It is $2 Tuesdays on the family fun side. Also, buy one, get one free pizzas here in the sports bar side, where we have the Coach O Show every Tuesday. Aiden Johnson, Salina Liberty kicker, joining us, and been wanting to talk to Aiden here for a while, so we're going to have an opportunity to get to know him, part of our Precision Electric player profile. And my friend, I got to talk to you because a couple of games in now with the Salina Liberty, you're off to a pretty good start, but this isn't something that you're not used to. I mean, you played in the IFL, one of the top-rated kickers when you were there, and then you get a chance to come to Salina, and boy, you're off to a pretty good start, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's definitely dedication and hard work, and it's brought me to this position, so I'm just glad to help a team win, honestly, yeah.
So when you come over to a team, it always kind of, the story, you know, everybody has one, especially indoor football-wise and semi-pro sports in general, but somebody might see the start that you're off to and go, why weren't you on a team right now? How do you answer that question?
Yeah, I mean, well, I've gotten a lot of opportunities in the last couple of years in arena football. The biggest thing is I've been playing in the IFL for the past 2 years. I was able to get an opportunity to play in the AFL this year with Rapid City, and that was a great opportunity with Coach King, and unfortunately that didn't work out with the organization. We folded. Got an opportunity to play at home for a couple weeks until that kicker got healthy, and then, got the call out here. It's just, there's so many of us, and I think a lot of guys get lost in that. As a free agent, as a kicker, as an athlete, trying to pursue the NFL, there's so many of us out there that, like, some of the opportunities you don't get, some you do, and it's just taking advantage of the ones you got, and this is what I got so far.
You brought up a great point, because there are, I don't know that there's so many of you, as you say, but the jobs are limited, right? You look at teams, they don't carry 2 or 3 kickers. It's a one-of-one type of deal. And I think that's fascinating, especially when you look at indoor football, because so many of the guys are versatile. They can play wide receiver, but they can play defensive back. As Coach O said, you're one of one. And with all the Iron Man rules and things like that floating around, how's that feel?
I mean, it's obviously cool to be in that, conversation, be in, like, those one-of-ones, especially with how many teams are left now in this league. I mean, there's a microscope on all of us. So, I mean, that's awesome. I love the AFL since I've gotten into it. I love the rules. It's a little different than the IFL, but, it's a good feeling. I mean, like I said, there's a lot of great athletes out there, and it's just something that you could really hone in your craft when it comes to, like, indoor kicking. So
you don't seem like you're the type of guy that gets flustered very easily. And I got to ask you this, because a lot of people, you got a stereotype, right? Because you're a kicker. Kickers are superstitious. They're weird. They do different things. How do you answer that? Because you don't seem like one of those guys. Are you very superstitious, or?
I have a routine, I would say, definitely.
But there's a difference between routine and superstition, right?
Yeah, honestly. I mean, I've played sports growing up my whole life, so it's all about feeling for me. I just have a constant routine that I've stuck to. Nerves are going to be there. It might not look like it on the field. A lot of guys out there, I've known guys have been in the NFL. They're throwing up before every game. You wouldn't even know it,
Right.
But it's just about consistent routine and, just being ready when your name's called.
When a team scores 85 points, you're pretty involved. You get to get on the field a lot. You were a big part of that. You had the same amount of points as the River Kings did on Saturday. You had 18 points. They had 18 points. Your stat line's pretty impressive, though. With those 18 points, you had 3 deuces. You also were 12 of 12 from point afters. You haven't missed a point after yet since you've been with the Liberty. What'd you think about that game and your involvement in it? Because you had a big role in this game.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think our team in general looked at that game as just another game we need to go out and win, and we need to be good on all fronts, including special teams. And it's been so great for me to come to a team that just, like, puts special teams at the forefront and knows, like, hey, I can be a part of this. I can help, the team out and score. And it really just comes down to the team in general. My snapper, my holder, the guys flying down on kickoff. Like, it makes my job easier where I could go out there. I know I'm going to get a good snap and hold. I'm going to make the kick because, it's a team involvement thing. It's not just me. I want to put that out there. It definitely is not just me. But yeah, it was a fun environment. Football's supposed to be fun. When you're winning, it's great. It is fun. But when you're scoring that many points, you really got to stay locked in the whole time.
Yeah. So, San Diego guy, you grew up in San Diego and you went to school in the area until college, right? You ended up, where'd you go to college at?
So, I went to school in San Diego from Eastlake High School, went junior college route, Southwestern College down there. I ended up at North Carolina Central for a year, ended up entering the transfer portal, and ended up back at the University of San Diego.
Okay.
And finished my career there.
Is that the bond you and Coach King have? Is that why he sought you out? You're both San Diego guys?
Yeah, no, I think so. We have really chill vibes and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's awesome. So a couple of questions here for you that just want to ask you about. First of all, your first home game here. You played in Wichita. That was your first game as the Liberty kicker. But your first home game here at Tony's Pizza Event Center, the fan interaction. Because I don't know, there was at one point I kicked half of my headset off and I was just listening to the fans because they were on the edge of their seats every time you kicked off. And I told Coach O about it. It's almost like maybe they didn't know that they needed a deuce in their life until you actually did it, and then they're like, wait a second, what happened? So it was just incredible to me. Some of the biggest cheers of the night were on your kickoffs. Did you get any of that on the field? Are you aware of that going on?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it might not look like I'm paying attention, but you can hear a lot of this stuff. You definitely can. And honestly, it's the fans were the ones giving me the energy. I could hear them talking behind me. They're like, oh, I bet you won't make this deuce. And stuff like that helps me out. It gets me excited and pumped up. But, it was cool to see their reaction to it because, I'm just doing the same thing every time.
Yeah.
Kickoff could be really mundane to people. They're not paying attention. Once they notice, it could hit off the net, it could bounce around. It could also come into the stands, or it can count as points. I mean, it keeps everyone interactive. So,
absolutely, it does. So Coach O gave you maybe the ultimate compliment. I don't know. He said that you're not just a kicker, you're a football guy. And a lot of kickers have a soccer background, but we all started somewhere, right? I mean, when did you settle into, I am in the kicker role, but what other spots did you play? What other sports did you play?
Yeah, so I actually played soccer for about 8-9 years, and then got into basketball, to track, and then I was also playing football. I was a running back before high school. I just knew how to kick because, I played soccer. And once I got to high school, I was playing slot, corner, and I was kicking. There was a point where I fell in love with basketball and didn't know if I wanted to pursue football. My mom was the one who actually pushed me out there. She's like, no, just go and do it. This is part of your life. So I went and do it. I went and did it in high school. And I kind of committed to just kicking because my leg had gotten stronger my sophomore year.
Okay.
And from then on, it just kind of took off, and I just committed to it.
What's your workout regimen like on the weights? Is it all lower body, or how do you work in that?
Honestly, I'm one of those guys who does not squat a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, it might look like I work out my legs a lot, but it's a lot of activation movement, athletic movements, a lot of sprinting. I mean, with kicking, some people just think, oh, they're just going to squat and just get huge legs. No, it's a lot of flexibility. Yeah. It's a lot of retention workouts. It's a lot of work, but I enjoy it. Honestly.
Repetition is key, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So you come from probably a different perspective. When you walk into a facility for the first time, let's use Tony's Pizza Event Center. Every roof is different, right? And you look up and you're evaluating what you can do. Oftentimes, I see kickers talking with each other. You may go over to the other team. They might come over to you and ask you, hey, how do you negotiate this? Some arenas, like Rapid City, I believe, they have a big video board that hangs down. What is that the first thing you do when you walk into a building?
Yeah, the first thing, honestly, I do, you might see me before pregame just walking around the stadium. So I got to practice, obviously, for this last home game in the arena, but I was only kicking one way. I don't know if you guys saw, I did hit the ceiling once.
Yep.
Did not realize it was a little lower on one side.
Yeah.
So all those things actually do play a factor. You think, oh, they're just kicking, but it really does play a factor where you want to set up on the field. Different kicks you might want to bring out of your bag you haven't used before, and what you can do in an arena. I mean, those things are stuff to avoid, obviously. You hit the ceiling, I mean, the other team's getting it on the 25. So it's good to kind of look at your environment before you go out there and just kind of judge what you can and can't do.
So we're way up in the media luxury boxes up there, so you can see a lot from where we're at. And I did notice when you hit the ceiling early on, because for people that don't know, in Tony's Pizza Event Center, there's concert rigging that hangs down on one end but not the other. So the arena ceiling's kind of like this. You hit the ceiling early on going that way. Well, then from there on out, it seems like you changed the trajectory of your kick, and sometimes it looked like it was still taking off when it hit the net. I mean, it was incredible, but that's obviously an adjustment that you made.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, once I saw that, I already knew coming into this, they want me to hit the net. That's the biggest thing. You want to give, your team, kickoff team, the best advantage, and that's hitting off the net, making the ball bounce weird. So once I saw that I hit that concert rigging, I was like, all right, I need to figure something out. I don't want to keep making up this mistake and stuff. There were certain things I was doing, tilting the ball, kind of driving it more. It's just stuff you kind of got to figure out on the fly in arena football.
Bailey Giffen from Billings, you guys might be the two best kickers in the league, and I know you haven't been here a lot. Albany also has a really good kicker, and his name escapes me right now. But Bailey Giffen had a chance to win the game for his team, and I want to talk about this situation because the last 5 minutes of the Albany-Billings game was incredible. If you guys haven't had a chance to watch it, go watch the last 5 minutes of this Billings-Albany game from this past Saturday. But basically, Billings is going to score 6 points. They go for a 4-point conversion. They get it to where they can win on a deuce. They're down by 1 point. Your mentality with that, knowing that's the only thing that can get you guys to win. There's 4 seconds left, I believe. You're down by 1. That's going to win the game for you. What's your thought process?
You really got to just calm yourself. It's just another kick. I know that sounds like very mundane, like, oh, it's just another kick, but just going back to routine. I mean, Bailey's a guy, I know him personally.
Okay.
He kicked in the XFL. He's got an NFL leg. I mean, he 3-stepped that kick.
Yeah.
And it hit midway up the net. I mean, the dude's very talented. He's been around for a while. Same with the Albany kicker. You just kind of go back to what has worked for you. You know, you've been in these situations, or you kind of work to be in these situations. It's not like you don't want this pressure.
Yeah.
You do want this weird, like you have this sense of like wanting this pressure situation to see what you're made of. And for him, I mean, you saw it. He was calm, 3-stepped the kick, hit the deuce. I mean, that's kind of what you want, is just to be relaxed, go back to what works for you, and just go do your job.
Yeah, you can watch him on video. Just kind of take the ball. He gave it a couple of squeezes and just put it on the tee. And I was just like, man, what an incredible spot to be in.
Oh, absolutely.
To walk off a game like that, it was something else. So you are playing for a coach right now that over the past few seasons, he is, I don't want to say anti-field goal, but his card to draw for a field goal on 4th down doesn't happen very often. Yeah. I asked him about that, and he actually asked him the question, do you like the points on a deuce? Do you like the field position on a deuce because the other team has to start out the 5? Or do you like the chaos off the net when that comes? And he kind of smiled and he says, I really kind of like the points. So is there a hope of maybe shifting Huron O'Neill mentality to where he has enough confidence and so much confidence in you that there's all of a sudden some field goal opportunities coming?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's whatever the game plan is.
Yeah.
And like I said, I mean, you said for me, I'm a football player. I'm a fan of the sport. So I'm ready to go out and kick a field goal. I mean, I want those opportunities. Yeah. I think any kicker does. But I also understand, like, we're not playing on a 100-yard field. And in arena, you saw it last week with Billings. I mean, they scored 12 points in 9 seconds.
Yeah.
So 3 points sometimes is not the answer. We need to go for it on fourth down. But luckily, I get the opportunity to make some points up on kickoff, when we score. So
isn't that the great thing about this sport? You can say, go ahead and get the touchdown. I'll score after that twice.
Absolutely.
So you get the extra point, and then you get the deuce after that. So I got to ask you because, again, you're one of one. There's so many different guys that you could emulate yourself or maybe even look at their trends, study their motion. Who is your favorite kicker, or if you have more than one, who are some of the guys you look at?
Okay. I would say, honestly, Jason Myers. I've met him a couple times. He's a San Diego local. He's a Seahawks kicker.
Yeah.
I mean, if you watch him kick, it kind of looks effortless. Yeah. It doesn't really look like anyone else. It looks like he's barely tapping the ball. He's very consistent. He's not the biggest guy. I'm obviously not the biggest guy out there. But, I mean, he's made a name for himself in the league. He's been there almost 10 years now, I believe.
Yeah.
Definitely Jason Myers, not a name you might hear a lot, but I would say him. One of my coaches back home, Nick Novak, as well. And then my other coach, I know he stays away from the limelight. His name's John Coker, though. I want to shout him out. I mean, we train all year long as a free agent. He was an arena kicker, so I look up to him a lot. And then, obviously, Justin Tucker, one of the guys who's going to be best kicker of all time.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great list to look after. So we're sitting here now just kind of in the middle of getting ready to start the playoffs, and there's going to be some games that come up that can rest on your legs, so to speak. When you look at the game in general, is it something that you're always kind of advancing your mind to of, okay, if we don't get this first down or, different situations in your mind, are you always kind of playing that out in the game, or how much are you involved in the game? How much of a cheerleader are you for the guys on the field and helping them in other spots?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, for me, those things are happening probably leading up to that week. You want to kind of play those scenarios in your head. But in the game, you never want to look too far ahead. For me, I'm just in it. I'm just ready when I need to go. I'm not looking like, okay, like if we don't score, I'm going to have to do this, and this. That's going to put a lot of pressure on me.
Yeah.
It's going to make me think a lot. So, I mean, what really keeps me locked in is being almost like a cheerleader for those guys that are in. You know, I love this sport. I love watching it. Anything I can see or point out that maybe, you know, some of the coaches aren't seeing or anything like that, or even some of my teammates might need some, you know, information when they come off the field, I'm there to supply it if they want to hear it. But I'm pretty locked into the game. Like I'm as much as a fan as someone in the stands, to be honest.
So you're pretty interactive then. You're not the kicker that's kind of off and nobody wants to talk to him.
Yeah, no, I think it kind of helps me watch the game.
Yeah.
You know, it keeps my mind at ease. I can enjoy, you know, the competitiveness of it, and then I'm able to kind of lock in. You know, when it does come to like third down and stuff, you know, I'll put my helmet on, kind of get locked in, but you know, I'm a fan of it.
Don't have to get ready if you stay ready, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, awesome. Man, I've really enjoyed talking to you, Aiden Johnson, the Salina Liberty kicker. You've only been in Salina a few days, right? What have you picked out a favorite spot yet? You just kind of trying some different spots?
Yeah, trying some different spots. Honestly, I haven't been around too much to the places. I mean, this whole place is amazing.
Yeah,
honestly, this is the first time I've been here, so it's cool. I've honestly just loved the community of everything. All the owners are so nice. The kids are super like ecstatic to see us. It makes us feel like, you know, real professionals, and everyone here has been so welcoming. So I just love the community. So
that's
far.
awesome, man. I'd love to get to know you. I'm sure we'll be talking more. Come back and see us again on the show. We'll have you again.
Absolutely.
All right.
Thank you so
Aiden
much.
Johnson, he is the Salina Liberty kicker here. So far, off to a really good start with the Liberty, and somebody you want to watch down the stretch here for the Salina Liberty. 85-18, the victory on Saturday. We'll have updates concerning the next game for the Salina Liberty coming your way on social media. You want to plug in not only Facebook but also Instagram and Threads if you're on Threads, and get all the information for the Salina Liberty also on Salina Post. For Brian Denon on video, also Coach Ron O'Neill, Aiden Johnson, my name's Devin Haney saying thank you for joining us once again for the Coach O Show. It's brought to you from AJ's in the Alley by Salina Medical Aesthetics.